I've had a severe and continuous lapse of judgment. I finally got to the RV park that I was staying in, and before I even get into this story, I arrived at just before 10 p.m. They're really nice, by the way, allowing people to do that. You just pick up a map and they tell you what spot you're in, and you can just pull in. But immediately, as I pulled off the exit to where I was staying, I was about 2 miles away from the RV resort, and as I pull off the exit, I see a store, a venue that is just covered in LED lights. And I'm wearing my glasses at the time, which are old prescription glasses, so I can't really see that well. But as I get closer, I see it's a cannabis store, it's a weed store. I'm like, oh, okay, you know, those are around. That's not too bad. But as I continue driving and I pass one stoplight, I see another weed store. And then another one. And then another one. And then I pull into a little area that has like a square where there's a bunch of stores, and there's like 2 weed stores next to each other in that square. And I'm just thinking to myself, who needs this much variety in weed stores to get their butt, you know? Like, who is profiting off of doing this kind of stuff? You could just walk into one, leave, and then walk right to the other one. And I'm not even sure if there's any difference in these stores. I don't know, I just thought that was pretty funny as I pulled in. But coming back to my severe lapse of judgment, no, I didn't record someone hanging themselves in a Japanese forest. I pulled into my RV spot and I set my rig up. I unhitched my truck from the trailer, and I don't know, I'm really at a loss for words, but I turned on my propane so that I could have heat because it's 30 degrees here. I turned on my furnace, and immediately as I turned on my furnace, both the furnace and the AC unit ran at the same time. So I was getting heating and cooling at the same time. 2 for 1. I don't know how that happened. I don't know what's the problem, what's causing that. I used ChatGPT to look up what could be the issue. I sent it a picture of the board behind the panel, and I didn't really help me with anything. But what I ended up doing was just unplugging this big plug in the AC unit, and now it no longer runs when the furnace runs. So I'm gonna just keep that unplugged for now and allow the furnace to run, because I am gonna let it ride. I put that thing up to 85 degrees and I just let it ride. I just let it rip. You know, I'm using propane anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I go to bed, snuggle up in my nice little queen-size bed with the heat running, and think nothing about it. But I am rudely awakened. We'll go with awakened. I'm rudely awakened by the bitterness of cold. And it's not just cold, it's the bitterness of freezing temperatures. All to find that I had not refilled my propane since the last time I used my trailer. Now, this has happened once before, and it was not fun. And so the memories came flooding back into my mind of the horrors of sitting in that cold weather with no refuge, no safety, no form of being able to rectify the situation because I'm out of propane. And it's all because of a mistake that I made of being a lazy fool that I didn't refill the propane. So there I am, sitting in the wallowing in the stupidity of my stupidness, having to deal with the cold until I eventually leave and go to my first appointment for the day. And so I keep snoozing my alarm and completely engulf myself in my blanket, trying in vain to keep myself warm. Because even though I cover myself with a blanket, the cold still, finds a way to break through that barrier. It's not like a shield or something. I'm back. I had to release some more storage from my phone so I could continue making videos. But back to the story. The blanket could not be a shield, and the cold was penetrating me. And so I tried my best in my mental fortitude to disregard the cold weather, but there are just some things that you cannot ignore. And I got up, psyched myself out, shook my body a little, warmed myself up, and got ready for the day and headed out. And now I am going to fill up my propane when I'm done with my work and blast that heat again so that I will never be cold. Never be cold. I plan on never being cold ever again. Because fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Why do I say that? Why do I say fool me once, fool me twice? It's almost as if something like this has happened to me before. And it has. When I was staying in Florida 2 years ago, I was staying at a really nice RV park. As as per the pattern. And while I was staying there, I didn't fill up my propane tanks the day before. And again, this was me coming back from having traveled back home for like a holiday or something. And so I didn't think much of it. I thought, hey, I've got enough propane to last me this night. I'll go the next morning and refill the propane. But oh, that was not the case. I was awake. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning to, again, the nibbing at my toes, the nibbing at my nose of the cold. And this was in like January, February in Florida, so it actually got cold there. You know, probably at least like 40 degrees or something like that. And that is still not comfortable. And it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and I think to myself, okay, we gotta think of a solution here. What is my solution? What am I to do about this situation, this predicament that I find myself in? And so I got out of my RV, and I went into my car. I went into my car and turned the heat up all the way, and I was like, I'm going to sleep in my car until it gets warmer, and then I'll go back in my RV. So I bring my blanket out to my car, I blast the heat in my car. But for some reason, I'm scared that I am going to get carbon monoxide poisoning sleeping in my car, sleeping outside. I wasn't thinking at the time that probably wasn't an issue. So, and I don't know if you people do this, whoever is watching this, or if you can relate. But sometimes when I'm working, or when I'm just driving normally, and I get out of my car, what I do is, before I even shut the door, I click the lock button on the side of the door so that I don't have to take out my keys and press the button to lock the car. So, in my running car, with the keys in the ignition, at, I don't know, it's probably 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm still waking up at this time. You know, my body is still waking up. I do exactly that. I get out of the car. I think I was planning on getting something out of the RV. I get out of the car and I hit the lock button and I close the door, not realizing that my keys are inside the car. So now I am locked outside of my car, which is blasting heat at full. My only refuge in this time of unsafety. There's a very good chance I will throw this phone into the next river that I drive past. I keep getting cut off because I don't have enough storage on my phone, and I'm fed up with it. Moving along, continuing my story, I lock myself out of my car, and the place that is the next warmest is the RV, the dreaded RV, wherein there lies no heat, no warmth to comfort me. And you know, I'm used to sleeping alone, so I'm used to being cold and not having anything warm to comfort me, but you gotta compensate sometimes. You gotta make up for it. And when you don't have that, it's another level of, bad. And so I am sitting in my RV and I have to make a phone call to a locksmith to open up my truck, but they don't open till 8 o'clock and it's probably 7 at this time. So I am sitting in my RV covering myself with a blanket waiting till 8 o'clock so I can call someone to open up my truck so that I may be liberated from the captivity of the cold, the captivity of Jack Frost nipping at my nose. All that to say is, sometimes you learn from your mistakes, sometimes you're bound to repeat them. So is a fool in his folly. I am that man. I am the fool. But today we are starting with our first round of inspections. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting them done, getting reacclimated with work again, and being able to figure out how things are gonna turn out here. You know, I don't know, maybe I'll stay here for a long while, maybe I'll stay here for even just a week. But I'm okay with either, because I'm still making that cash. I'll still be making enough for the trip to be worth it, and then some. Believe you me. That's all I got. This is a funny little story for you to laugh at, if you do laugh. And so I think I will be checking in. I don't know if I'll do something else on the way back, or if I will just do something tomorrow. But as for now, this concludes day number 3 on the Oregon Trail, on the Michigan Trail, and we are still alive. So let's be happy for that. Quick check-in for the middle of the day. 3 houses down, 3 more to go. As you can see, I added onto my kit. I leveled up and added a helmet to my build. But yeah, it is cold as hell out here. So I snuck up on an unsuspecting homeless person and stole this hat from them. And it suits me well, I think. We got 3 more houses to go. And then it's back to, wait, before I go back though, I gotta refill the propane tanks. And then it's back to writing up these estimates. Wow. It's back to writing up these estimates in my RV. Which will probably take like 3, at most 4 hours. Maybe less. I don't know. It's been a while since I have written up estimates, so it might take some time for me to get reacclimated and be able to speed run them, so I can get to playing some Overwatch. Yeah, play some Overwatch. Waste away the time until the next day. Maybe pick something up to eat. That'd be fun. I don't know. One thing I always like to try whenever I go to a different state is to see how good their Mexican food is. Because most places that you go that you'd expect to have good Mexican food don't have good Mexican food. Like Florida and Texas have the worst Mexican food that I've ever eaten in my life. I mean, Florida, it's like they don't even have corn tortillas over there. They put everything in wheat tortillas, or flour tortillas. But like, you don't use flour tortillas for tacos. You use flour tortillas for quesadillas. Tacos you eat with corn tortillas. At least that's how I've been doing it for my whole life. That I've been eating Mexican food. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of food they have around where I'm living, where I'm staying for now. Gonna knock these next 3 claims down. So far, the first 3 have gone very well. The first house had a doormat. The owner had a doormat which said murderous intentions inside. So I don't know how to feel about that when he opened the door. Luckily, I didn't walk inside the house. I didn't have to walk inside the house, so maybe I staved off any sense of harm. It's probably just a joke, I hope. And then the second house that I went to, I was talking on the phone with a lady, and she didn't speak English, so she had to give her phone to someone else. But they were speaking Arabic, and I pull up to the house, and they have a statue of Mary outside of the house. And I walk in the house, and there's like plaques of the Lord's Supper, there's pictures of Jesus, there's pictures of Mary, and I'm like, what? What places in the Middle East are very Christian? I don't know. Catholic? I don't know. Well, that was pretty interesting to me. But yeah, I mean, the damage around here is pretty bad. The people's houses have gotten pretty screwed up. So this might turn out to be a pretty exciting deployment money-wise. And it's nice when you get up on the roof and you see stuff clear as day. You don't have to worry about people pushing you around trying to claim stuff that isn't really there. And so it's a lot less stress off your back. You don't have people hounding at you, and you can kind of just explain to them, like, yeah, there's definitely damage there. It all just depends on, different kinds of things, how old the roof is, how extensive the damage is. But all in all, so far the day's going good, and it's looking like it's going to end up being a pretty good time spent here in Michigan. And so that's catching up for the middle of the day at the moment. That's all I got. The first day is officially done. Well, it was done a while ago, but I had to do a couple things. I had to move my RV to a spot that actually gave me water so I could shower and wash my dishes and stuff like that. But yeah, first day is done. First day is a success. Driving back to my RV right now after picking up some food. Looking forward to decompressing for the day. Don't really have much time to do that. Considering that it's already 10:15 and I gotta wake up at like 6:30 tomorrow. But we ball. in doubt, we ball. Alright, just passed where I needed to turn. So I'm not too excited about that. Gotta do a quick U-ey. But yeah, it's a good day. I was able to inspect 6 houses. And I've got 6 for tomorrow, 6 for Saturday, and some for Monday and Tuesday. So we're all booked out. Like I was saying, the damage out here is pretty good. So claims that I'm writing are not too bad. I'm enjoying my time out here so far. I'm not in a really bad place. I'm not in like a ghetto place. I'm not in the, my fears are abated so far. All of the places that I've been to have actually been really nice. Like really, I don't know what the word is. Yeah, just really nice. Places that I would live if it wasn't cold for 5 months out of the year. And that is why I moved down to Florida, to escape that exact thing. But I'm just driving back to the campground right now. Picked up some McDonald's to end the day. I know probably not the best thing, but gotta make do with what you got. I usually like to cook for myself. I usually like to cook a nice steak. You know, whether it's pickles on the side or, I mean, I'll just eat a steak. I'll just eat 2 steaks in one sitting. Am I supposed to be turning here? No. Okay, I know where I'm going. Yeah, not much else going on for the rest of the day. Just gonna chill out. Maybe read my Bible, listen to something, finish some podcasts that I was listening to. I did do some catching up with the Afroman case and his defense against the cops that swatted his house, which was pretty interesting. I didn't know that that was the guy who made But Then I Got High. The dude made a song with the home recording footage of the sheriff office or whatever force going through his house, making fun of them going through his house. That isn't America. I don't know what is. The dude showed up to court wearing an all-American flag, suit and tie, and American flag glasses. This guy's a baller. I got that McDonald's Sprite, that Energizer. Let me take a swig of that real quick. Lube up the pipes. I think I'm gonna have a good time the rest of the days that I'm here. I'm gonna stay over the weekend, so I gotta find a church to go to. That'll be fun. That'll be interesting. I've seen a lot of nice churches around here. It's crazy. All the freaking nice churches that are around here or like are in downtown areas are all taken over by the gay people. They're all gay churches. I don't know who gives them the money. Maybe it was part of USAID. We'll take them back soon enough. I don't know how. But we'll take them back. Those nice church buildings belong to people who will you know, cherish them and take care of them, not corrupt them from the inside. It's nice to go to those churches, but it's just sad what's happened to them, because like churches used to be the center of the city where everyone would flow out from and go into the world after Sunday service, but no longer. We'll get back to that too, I hope. Maybe not in my lifetime, but you know, the day will come. What else? What else is new? The new Spider-Man trailer came out. I think it looks really cool. I personally, I know it's a lot of just nostalgia bait and stuff in there, but I'd put Far From Home in like one of my top, I don't know if I want to say top 5. I don't know if I want to say top 5 movies, maybe top 10, because there are just so many good movies that I've watched. But man, that was a good movie. Bringing back the old boys, bringing back Tobey Maguire. I don't know. Andrew Garfield, you know, I didn't really like how they did the lizard in that movie. You know, the lizard, he's supposed to have those chompers, you know, like he does in the comics and in the video games. And then they just made him into like this, I don't even know what he looks like. He looks like, I don't know. He looks like one of those Goombas from the live action old Mario movie. And I wasn't too happy about that, seeing that. And then what they did with Jamie Foxx, and you know, they redeemed it in Far From Home. They made him actually look cool. He should have looked like that in the first place. He should have been this cool guy who, I don't know, stuck a fork in an electric socket and became Electro. And not this geek who has like a stutter and is like obsessed with Spider-Man and wants to be Spider-Man's friend in the movie. Like, who writes that kind of stuff? Who's the director of that movie? I don't even know. But that was kind of shameful what they did to Jamie Foxx. He was so good in Django, and then they do something like that to him. Come on, dog. But he looked much, much better in Far From Home. And I was really happy to see that they redeemed that character. So I don't know what they're gonna do with this new Spider-Man movie, but it looks good. I'm hoping, I think they're supposed to be doing another trilogy for him. I mean, he sells big bucks. Tom Holland is a really good Spider-Man. Excuse me. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with him. You know, hopefully they get like the Venom Spider-Man, Venom symbiote Spider-Man. That'd be cool. That would be legit. But this movie looks good. They're doing like a Spider-Man 2 kind of thing where Peter Parker is losing his powers, and so he's trying to find himself. Which is a kind of good way of going about it, considering that, alright, look, the movie came out like what, 500 years ago, considering that he lost everything. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I'm pretty excited about it. I don't know, I haven't really been keeping up with any of the Marvel stuff. I heard Loki was a good show. I haven't watched it. I'm not really into like watching shows like that, so I'm not interested in any of that. But if you put Spider-Man in anything, I'm watching it. Spider-Man is like the best. other than Batman. It goes Batman, Spider-Man. In that order. Oh my gosh, I can't see where I parked. Am I blind? Am I blind? Oh no, I'm not. I'm not blind. Well, here I am, back at the crib. And so I am gonna sign off for the night, sign off for the day, and absolutely munch on this McDonald's. Later.